And what is up, everybody? It's your boy Tino here, and we're here to talk another week of White Sox baseball. And also, if you are a baseball fan, and this day is a fun day for you because it is the MLB trade deadline day. Players are switching teams, sellers, buyers, teams that are in contention are trying to get those players. Teams that are trying to sell are trying to build for the future, and there's a lot of movement going on. So we're here to talk about that and the week that was for the Chicago White Sox and the week that will be. So let's not waste any time. Let's get Deech in here. Let's talk about the few trades the White Sox have made and all the other trades that have been going down. So, what's up, Deech? How are we doing today? And how are
What's
you
up?
feeling after another week of baseball?
Um, they continue to really just mash the baseball, which has been super exciting to watch against good caliber teams. We're not talking like, oh, we beat some shit team. So it's been exciting. I think it shows at least a step in the right direction. Um, and we can get into it further, but you have like the Twins in Cleveland selling pieces off that are the Twins, it's really bad. It seems like they just cleared house. What did wind up being Willie Castro, um, Griffin
Oh,
Jacks,
oh, for the Twins,
Duran,
Correa,
uh,
Bader,
Correa.
Duran yesterday. They traded
Yeah,
Chris Paddock to the Tigers. They cleaned house. And
yeah.
I mean,
So,
this was always the thing too that I talked about, and we talked about a little bit. Is this could be like the biggest thing for like the White Sox? Is it seems like a lot of these teams now are kind of falling, and obviously we didn't mention last week what happened with Emmanuel Clase and everything else like that. And it's like a couple of the teams are kind of like going downhill, where the Sox are kind of up on the rise, and so yeah. But this trade deadline, man, there's been a lot of movement, but not too much by the White Sox. They did trade Austin Slater to the Yankees, and as we were getting ready to go live, they traded Adrian Hauser to the Tampa Bay Rays. So, as of now, those are the only two moves that have happened. It looks like Luis Robert is staying on the Southside, and if a few other trades do happen, obviously they could, but we'll have to wait and see. But do you get excited for the trade deadline, or are you just like whatever? And because I feel like every year they hype this stuff up and it never lives up to it ever being anything.
um, it's interesting to see how other teams play out. I feel like the Sox really rarely have like crazy deadlines, at least where you're shocked and it being a positive thing. Um, we've been sellers for the last few years. I thought it was a relief this year to actually be more excited to watch the
A
Cubs
game.
and Phillies series, um, rather than worry about who the hell we were trading and how many prospects we were going to get at the deadline. I know I don't know what your opinion was, but I know I mentioned it on here. I did not think Robert had enough value to sit and trade him, and apparently that seems to be what took place. So Getz had to double down for a second time. um,
Well, and that's the good point because the other two outfielders that were on the market, Harrison Bader from the Twins and Cedric Mullins from the Orioles, both got traded. Bader went to the Phillies, and Mullins went to the Mets. And they showed the numbers on the Chicago Sportsnet podcast the White Sox are doing with Chuck Garfien right now. And Robert's numbers, they weren't like awful, but compared to the other two, the Mets and Phillies made the right decision. And I didn't even know Bader was doing that good. I just know he's killed the White Sox. So I figured that was
well,
just
and based off of what I saw, it looked like Getz wanted to treat Robert as though he was more than a rental, and every other team just saw him as a rental, and I don't think had intentions necessarily of picking up his options. So he was asking for like a major leaguer and two prospects for Robert, which
I mean,
I'm
listen,
glad he didn't just trade him to trade him for nothing. But that might have
exactly.
been a steep price. Oh wow.
And that's the thing too. And but like even like Chuck said it when they started this podcast. This is the same thing we were doing, and the three of us had the same conversation about Garrett Crochet last year because it was a Thursday, and I think we went live like an hour before the trade deadline ended, or whatever. But we didn't trade him, and we ended up trading him in the offseason, and we ended up getting Chase Mydroff, Kyle Teal, freaking who else are we getting in that?
Braden Montgomery.
Braden Montgomery and Welcome Gonzalez. And so far, Kyle Teal and Chase Montgomery on the team helping us out, hitting home runs, doing their thing, other than obviously making some few stupid plays. But, anyway, I want to talk about that play because that's bullshit that happened in the Cubs game. But, I mean, that's the thing. So we could see anything happen, and, we'll have to wait and see. But for now, I'm going to enjoy watching Luis Robert play baseball because, as you said, it's been a lot more exciting to watch baseball. They've scored 84 runs since the All-Star break. And as I say that, they just brought up the numbers for Bader and Mullins. Mullins and Bader are batting 258 and 229 representatively, as Robert is batting 213. They both have 4 more home runs and 1 more home run than him. And their OPS is 20 plus better than them. So I feel like the team's made the right decision. And again, hopefully Luis could have a good rest of the year, and we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I mean, they've been fun to watch, and they're at 40 wins. We didn't get our 40th win until the end of September. August 1st is tomorrow. The fact that we have 2 months to now hopefully continue to play better baseball and everything else like that. Like I said it when we did the prediction show. I thought that they could possibly win high 60s. And I don't know if that's still a possibility, but it seems like it's getting a little bit closer and they continue to win. And if they win 1 more game, they match their total from last year. And that means just every other win after that is moving up compared to what we were. I'm just more mad the Rockies keep winning now because that just kind of makes me irritated, So, yeah. But
the Rockies bullpen, though, might be tough after that. Didn't they trade like 2 bullpen arms?
The Rockies did. Yeah, they did.
And McMahon,
also,
too?
Huh? They did.
Did they trade McMahon, too?
Yeah, they did to the Yankees. Also, bullpen guys that did get traded. Mason Miller went to the Padres. Bro, the Padres do not have a farm system anymore. They got Ryan O'Hearn. They got Ramiro Loreno from the Orioles. The Orioles also did clean house. They got rid of a lot of people. Carlos Correa, as I said, went back to the Houston Astros, and I love your bang bang trash cans. I wonder if they'll have the trash can waiting for him in the dugout. Josh Naylor went to the Mariners, as we've talked about. Eduardo Suarez also went back to the Mariners. Shane Bieber, bro. I low-key forgot that this man was in the league, but he is now out of the AL Central, thank goodness. Also, Willie Castro is out of the AL Central. He just went over to the north side. But Shane Bieber going to the Blue Jays. Were you shocked by this one? And did you even know that he was on the radar to possibly even be coming back? I guess he's coming back like next week.
I think it's odd because I think for like the last 3 years they've talked about, are they going to flip Bieber? But they always have a ridiculous asking price that someone was saying on one of the MLB shows today that Cleveland never really budges from their asking price. So maybe that's what held it up these past 2 years. There's something going on in Cleveland. There's been random reports that it isn't just Class A and this other dude that were like betting. So that could get interesting. I mean, if for some reason there were like 5 to 10 guys in the clubhouse that were like, hey, we're all going to just like bet on our own fucking team, I would have to imagine Stephen Vogt would get the what's the guy, AJ Hinch treatment and get smacked with the suspension, even though he technically wasn't the one actively doing it.
I mean, you're not wrong yet. I mean, that's the thing, man. Like, there was reports about Stephen Kwan possibly getting traded. I was hoping for it. I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
The Twins also did just trade to the Blue Jays. They traded Louis Verland and Ty France. So I don't know who else.
Oh, Louis Varland and Ty France.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
that's Gus Varland's brother.
Is it really?
Yeah, we had the Gus Varland on the Sox.
Gotta love it. Nestor Cortez went to the Padres. Also, I thought he was still on the Yankees. I just thought he was hurt. Merrill Kelly went to the Rangers. I didn't think the Rangers would be going to be buying anybody, as it does not seem like they're in any type of race. But Diamondbacks are doing what they're supposed to do: get rid of everybody that they can possibly. This Carlos Correa trade, though, are you shocked by it? And apparently he's playing third base.
I really don't care. I was just glad. I mean, that's really. I don't know how Minnesota all of a sudden they can't just turn it around next year. There was some quote that came out from a reporter or some sort of beat writer or some shit from Minnesota, and the quote from a player was, "Why would anyone want to play here after everyone they just got rid of is gone?"
Yeah.
So
Well,
maybe
and that's
that's what Held gets from necessarily just flipping guys for nothing this year.
well, yeah, and again, I feel like he's a little bit smarter, and he's not just going to make a deal to make a deal. Speaking of that, did you see that Mr. Rick Hahn was on the MLB Network today answering questions?
Yeah.
Funny as gotta love it. Best guy to have, the guy that has made all
On the
those trades.
con.
And that's the thing with Rick Hahn. He'll just make a trade to make a trade. So, trade deadline. It doesn't seem like as of right now anything else big has happened. So if anything else does come out, we'll let you know. But let's talk about the last week that was Chicago White Sox baseball because man, Friday night Justin talked about it last week and he said hopefully the White Sox can use the momentum that they had. Come out on Friday and do that, and that's exactly what they did, man. They destroyed the Cubs, and it was so sweet. But then on Saturday, right? It was Saturday. Was it Saturday or Sunday that Saturday they got beat. And Sunday, how the hell do they get a run by running in to Colston Montgomery and Miguel Vargas? Please explain that to me. What did I miss? As there's something, because I was watching it on my phone and then I saw the play. But how are you able to just run into somebody? I don't understand this.
I don't know. I think the way, however they, I guess, viewed the rule was different than a lot of other people. I I was leaning more towards it being against who was it, Hap that ran into him.
I thought it was Pete Crow Armstrong, or was it Hap?
It might have one of those two.
Okay,
It looked like they intentionally did it, so I was under the impression, well, I mean, this is a little ridiculous, but apparently not.
I love it, but
So
that was
they still played. I don't know that series. They still played well. It's not.
Well, and that's the biggest thing, like you said earlier about the teams that they played. This was a big test for them. And yes, they did only win one game against the Cubs, and I think that's what we all said. And you said possibly two games, but I mean that was the biggest test. That was a big test for them to see how well they can do. And they almost came back and won on Sunday. They almost came back, and I think they got down, but I think in the ninth or something, it was like 6-4 or something. But they did, losing to the Cubs is annoying, but like I said, watching them play better baseball and getting screwed over like that, it hurts, but it is what it is. So let the Cubs have their wins, and it is what it is, and yada yada yada. But then this past week, we decided that we were going to go play the Phillies, and this is the series I was worried about because I just had no hope after watching Kyle Schwarber do what he did in the All-Star game or the Home Run Derby and all of that, and Bryce Harper, and the Phillies are just a really good team. Well, the White Sox showed all of us that we were wrong and took 2 out of 3 against them. I was shocked. I really was because I did not think that was going to happen. What did you see? And you said, did you go to any of the Phillies games?
No, I did not.
Okay. I know we were supposed to go, but that's my fault. Anyway. What was your big takeaway from them facing the Phillies and having and going up against a team like this with everybody that they have and obviously being the team that they are?
It's somewhat. We almost broke past the plateau of. I feel like for the last couple of weeks, it's like the bats would be good, but the arms would really struggle. Kind of just seemed like the culmination of everything working right at the same time. That Phillies lineup is definitely, I would say, one of the more power heavy lineups in baseball. And our pitching for the most part seemed to handle them pretty well. Even yesterday, Tyler Alexander, kind of on the fly, they scratched Hauser because of his likeliness of being traded, and we're like, hey, you get the ball today. So for him to go out there, I think he threw 4 innings of 2-run ball, and then Vassal's a stud. There were people saying to flip Vassell at the deadline. It's like we could
Yeah.
go that route, but then we're going to be spending quite a bit on a bullpen. And
And
look
what has
what
been the
like
problem for the last 3 years with this fucking team? That goddamn bullpen that we've been putting out there with these fucking Joe Schmoes. Oh my god! Like you
well,
remember? You
that's the
remember what
thing.
was it?
Look at what these look at what these relief pitchers are going for. There's teams that giving up multiple prospects. Like I could see if Grant Taylor was not as young as he is and was more leaning towards, all right, I'm getting closer to arbitration or being a free agent. Yeah, sure, go test the market for him. But people were like acting like if Chris Getz was like, I'm going to trade Grant Taylor, he would get a Mason Miller return. I just don't see it. Mason Miller's done it for what, at least 2 seasons? He's been shoving in the majors.
Yeah.
But
And
and why trade that? Then you don't need to go buck up for a closer.
well, exactly, and I mean that's the thing. It's not just to trade, and especially the way that these guys have been playing and the way they're getting along. It's one of those things. Why break up the chemistry and why trade some of these guys just to make a trade? Like you know what I mean? Like that was why like I said it in like Mike Talkman's and stuff. Like being traded like would make sense, but they're contributing, and if they want to be here and they want to play and everything, I mean you know, and maybe they'll
Yeah.
stay on the cheap and maybe they'll stay on the low if they want to continue this because. I hate to talk about it and everything, but just like with the Cubs, there were guys that were taking pay cuts just to come to the Cubs because they wanted to play for the Cubs and hopefully be that team to end the streak and end that curse. And you know damn well there are players out there that are kind of using the motivation from, at least I would use that motivation to be like, I want to change the narrative of this team and like I want to be on the team that like change. I don't know. That's just me. So that's how I feel about it. But watching the young guys go out there and play in this Philly series, the Colston Montgomerys, the Kyle Teals, the Edgar Carreros, especially yesterday. And I texted you as soon as the game happened, man. Maybe it was a good thing we didn't go to the game because we probably would have lost. Because I'm just bad luck. I think every time I have literally not been to a game in like 5 years that they have won. I think it was before COVID the last time they won a game that I went to. So they went out there and hit a bunch of home runs. And like you were talking about with Tyler Alexander and him going out there and helping with them possibly trading Adrian Hauser. And luckily, we didn't have him pitch because you never know what could happen and with the rain and all of that nonsense. So, I mean, going out there and having that and winning the game 9-2, or did they get an extra run, 9-3? I mean, the fact that they've scored, like I said earlier, 84 runs in the past and since the All-Star break, bro, it took them probably 100 games last year to score 84 runs. So, I mean, like seriously, like watching this offense and having some games where we're like, it's like the 6th inning and it's like we're up by 6, and I'm like, okay, we got and especially doing it against teams like this is even better because it's showing that they are going to be able to compete, and a lot can happen with this trade deadline or after the trade deadline and everything, and some teams will do this and that. But I think the Sox, the way they've been playing in the second half, could be that team to like possibly have a very good record just based on after the All-Star break. I think I did it yesterday. I think we're 8-4, 9-4 since the All-Star break, and that's just insane to be able to like. It's sad, And like I said, we are one win away from tying our record from last year, and that's even more insane to me.
Imagine
But
being Luis Robert now.
why? Maybe he wants to be the Jose
Dude,
Altuve.
the fan base wanted him the fuck out. If you went on Twitter, there were so many people who were like, trade him for anything, trade him. Not that he's sitting there paying attention to social media, but I mean, he's had to listen since the off season. Are you going to be traded? And he has to answer questions about it. It would kind of suck to be him, but I kind of hope Will Venable kind of puts his foot up his ass the rest of the season and is like, you're going to be part of this just as much as everyone else. So,
Well, yeah, and I mean that's the thing too, where yes, he could, and yes, you could, and yes, they're now going to have to pick up the $20 million option and everything. But if he continue to play the way that he's played, I don't think anybody's going to be complaining because he's hitting the ball, he's playing defense, he's running bases, he's doing everything. And did you see? I wanted to mention this because I think it happened Tuesday night. Did you see Justin's tweet where I've just become accumulated? If a guy trips over the base, he's out on the IL. Freaking was it Chase or Kyle that did like a front flip over first base?
Oh yeah.
They both got he got up, and I was just like, but I just thought I was just like, you know what I mean? And that's where it's just like with Robert being here and everything, I just hope that, he can continue to do what he's doing and prove to be the guy that we've all hoped him to be since we've got him and we went and signed him and all of that nonsense. So far so good in the second half, but we will definitely have to wait and see what happens because now that we're done with Phillies and the Cubbies, we're heading over. What is it? Is it the West or the East or is it the West?
The West. It's the West
West.
Coast.
We
Right.
had West Coast, and we heading over to face the Los Angeles Angels and those Seattle Mariners. So, Los Angeles Angels did make a couple trades today. I don't really know exactly what they're trying to do. I mean, I guess they are kind of still in the race for now, but we are going to go see our good old buddy, the guy that loves to wear himself any type of colors. It's Mr. Yohan Moncada. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's kind of funny out of all the players that have been and that were on that team, he's kind of actually been doing kind of well. Dylan Cease also will not be traded. I did see that. The Padres came out and said that he will not be traded. They don't have any pitching matchups, it looks like, for tomorrow. Saturday, Aaron Savali against Kyle Hendricks. Bro, Kyle Hendricks is still in the league? Huh? Sure.
I think the Angels gave him a pretty decent contract too, if I'm not mistaken.
I feel
like 11 or 12 million for 1 year or some shit like that.
Man, what are the Angels doing? The Angels are just going out and getting anybody and everybody that they can that's been on other teams that have been good before. Aaron Savali is somebody that I heard that could have been traded, and obviously he wasn't. But and that's the thing with the trade deadline. People could talk about whoever. I could put out a tweet and say the Sox traded Robert for the best prospect, and there will be some idiot out there that would believe it. Like, anybody could put anything out there for real. And then on Sunday, we're going to see Sean Burke take on Jack Kochowicz. I can't say his name. So, that is for what we got going on the Angels. Angels are 53 and 56. As I said, they are kind of in the race for the wild card. I guess they're 4 games out. I don't really know how that kind of helps. They have to jump over 4 teams. So, how do you feel about this series and everything? And the Brewers just acquired Shelby Miller from wherever he was at, probably the Diamondbacks. But how do you feel about the Angels and what we got going on this weekend?
I think they're going to take 2 from the Angels. Pretty confidently take 2.
Have you ever been to the stadium?
I have not been to that stadium, but I was going to say I am all for just being the spoiler the rest of the season. Just go keep winning series against every team and make it harder on them to make the playoffs. Yeah. Leave a bad taste in their mouth so they know it's coming next year.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the thing, and it's like the way they're playing, and again, I'm trying my best not to get too excited, but like watching them play some games, I'm just like, oh my God, it's amazing. There is a possibility if they can continue to do that with the A's trading Mason Miller and stuff like that, they could catch the A's, and the Orioles traded a couple people and the Twins. I mean, just depending on what happens, they could very well not be the worst team in the American League. The Rockies have 28 wins still, so that's good. Rockies keep losing. Please, they need to lose. They need to lose 9 more games to tie what the Sox record was on August 12th. So please lose 9 in a row. Because I don't want it.
You said August 12th?
Well, no, when Sox got their 29th win, they're 28 and 89. Right now, the Rockies are 28 and 80. So they need to lose 9 more games to tie the record. But yeah, I think it was August 12th. Around them is when they got their 29th win or something like that. I think
that's the thing. The Rockies don't I feel necessarily go on crazy. I felt like we went on numerous double-digit losing streaks last year. Like just took it up the took it for fucking
10+ game losing streaks. I think it was 14, 21, and I don't know. I don't even know how much the other one was. It makes me sick. It really does. I just don't know how we even sat through this and did this last year. We deserve some type of we deserve to be rewarded for the bullshit we had to go through last year. And I think that's the problem too, is teams are not, and they need to start realizing it. It's not the same team anymore. I think teams sometimes still go into that thinking that they're going to be able to beat the White Sox, and it's just not happening. Like, like I think
Well,
the
ever
Phillies.
since they got rid of Pedro, it seems like that. Even Grady had them playing a much more enjoyable product in the however many games he had at the end of last year.
Yeah, I forgot how many games exactly it was.
I
So,
mean, this it
they,
literally think looking back at it, the players must have not given a fuck last year when Pedro was the manager. Cause like he would like randomly just start to be like an asshole and like blast them in the media. Remember that one game where he said like they need to like I don't even know what he
oh
said.
yeah,
And then
I
Corey
remember.
Lee was like, "Oh yeah, dude." Like it was just like, "All right, dude, you've lost your clubhouse. Get out of here." Um,
Oh,
I'm
but
interested to see how this Curtis Mead falls into the whole um,
into the whole.
equation for the Sox.
I mean, if he's ready and if he's young enough, I mean, why the heck not just come up and see what the heck he can do, right?
Wow,
Wow, what?
two other prospects came with Curtis Mead. Pitchers Ben Peoples and Duncan DeWitt.
Both pitchers. Why do we need more
Yeah,
pitchers?
but Curtis Mead's an infielder.
I'm sick of pitchers. We don't need no more pitchers. But yeah,
No,
no, I
they're gonna have to flip pitching at some point. If you can stockpile it and find little diamonds in the rough that you can flip for people, that could be pretty big.
I mean, and that's the thing. If that's what they want to do, that's fine. And again, maybe that's just what the White Sox are gonna do. They're just gonna wait till, and they're that team that's just gonna wait till the offseason. Because I mean, again, you don't just need to make a trade to make a trade. Because we've seen so many. At least I've been watching the trade deadline like this for freaking years. Every trade deadline, I watch this shit all day, and there's been a lot of trades that have happened where, like, I always remember the one with the Royals where they freaking went out and got the freaking oh my God, what was his name on the Royals in 2015? The freaking speedy dude at the top of the lineup.
Billy Hamilton.
No, not Billy Hamilton. Yeah, I mean Billy Hamilton was there, but yeah, our ass and I can't think of his name. Oh, it's gonna drive me insane. But anyway, I remember when they traded him and everything else like that, and then like a couple of years later, I was watching. And they're like, "Remember when they traded it?" So it's one of those things. You don't really know what's gonna happen again.
Was it the outfielder
Yeah, I just can't remember.
to the Brewers?
It wasn't Soler. I remember Soler. There's maybe it was. I don't remember. No, it wasn't Soler. I don't know. I can't figure it out. I'll look it up. But I mean, that's the thing with it. So I mean, we've seen teams like the Braves go out and build an offense and win the World Series, but we've also seen teams go out there and do absolutely nothing and yeah, stop. And the guy, yeah. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, I agree with you on the Angels series. I think definitely 2 out of 3 is doable. And with what the Angels have done, I really don't think like it's anything like crazy because the Angels really. The only person on the Angels that ever scares me is Mike Trout, and he just, man, that poor guy deserves to be in the playoffs every year, and he just is not. So,
Shelby Miller and Jordan Montgomery traded to the Brewers.
oh, they got and Jordan Montgomery. I only saw the Shelby Miller one. Man, what the Brewers just said? Let's go for everybody. That's fine by me. Please beat the Cubs. Works for me. I'm over it. I don't want to see the Cubs anywhere, ever again. I hate Cubs. I hate the Cubs.
All right, we got a comment.
Oh,
Why are
oh,
you pissed, man? Why are you
he's
pissed?
always mad. This
I
guy.
told you. I told you. Robert was. What value did he have to just trade him just to be like, we can't pay him $20 million next year? I don't give a fuck. It's not my money. If they have to pay $20 million next year for Luis Robert Jr., fuck them.
Well,
I
I mean, but
mean,
I think that's the thing too. It's like, why are you going to trade him just to trade him? And like again, like compared to Mullins and Bader, yes, Bader is having a career year, but their numbers are way off. And they've showed him on the MLB Network a few times, and that's just the thing where Robert being there. I'd rather watch Robert in center field make defensive plays and hit balls and have whatever and rob home runs than watch us give him away for a prospect that we may never see. Especially after that freaking Jake Berger trade. I don't Jake Eater got freaking traded today too. Or was it yesterday he got traded? Did you
No,
see
I
that?
think it was today.
Was it today? That was funny. And then also Mike Soroka, former White Sox, also went to the north side over on the Cubs, which I thought was even funnier because it's like Mike Soroka, man. That guy, we were talking about him last year. Like, that guy was supposed to be great, and he just never turned out to be anywhere near anything. But after we face the Angels, we go and face the new juggernaut after the trade deadline because they went out and got But okay, this is my thing with this. If you're gonna get two players from the same team, why don't we just make one trade? Why do we make two separate trades? And yes, it was like 4 or 5 days apart, whatever, or maybe a week apart. But like you're telling me it took an extra week for them to finally give up a guy to get Eduardo Suarez and Josh Naylor in the Seattle Mariners. Man,
Or with a
Seattle's
pivot move.
huh?
It was probably trying to see the market, though. Like for Suarez, you didn't really know what you were going to have to pay because you had like the Cubs in on him.
Yeah,
Weren't the Astros were in on him, I think.
Yeah, the Astros weren't on him and I think they pivoted because and that's why they went out. They probably didn't want to give up as much as they wanted, so that's why they went and got Correa back because I feel like Suarez would have been a good fit there.
What did Arizona get back in those deals?
For the Eduardo Suarez deal?
Yeah.
Let me because I just had a website that had all of the that one happened. Okay, so the Mariners got Suarez, and then Diamondbacks got Tyler Locklear, Hunter Cranton, and Juan Burgos. So they got 3 players, 2 pitchers, and an infielder. And then for Naylor, I think they only got 1 guy, if I'm not mistaken. They got pitcher Brandon Garcia and pitcher Ashton Izzy. So I feel like I don't know. I feel like the Diamondbacks did this a lot. They also traded away Mario Kelly, right? Yeah. So, I mean, or no, that was at the Pirates. I don't freaking know anymore. I can't keep up with all these trades. But, yeah, so how do you feel after we go and face this team of the Seattle Mariners? Because you and I went to the game when they were in Chicago, and it didn't go very well. So, are we going to have any better luck in Seiko Field or whatever the heck they want to call it now?
I think the Sox are going to keep rolling. I think they'll take 2 in Seattle, too.
Because we are off Monday, because they obviously have to go to Seattle. And then we got Davis Martin taking on Brian Woo. We also have, let's see if they have anywhere else. We also have Jonathan Cannon taking on George Kirby. Didn't George Kirby come over from the Diamondbacks too? Like George Kirby was on it. And then Sunday or on Thursday next week, we don't know, obviously. So we'll have to see with that. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing with the Mariners. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this new lineup works out and how they kind of use it all and everything, because that lineup looks scary. But anything can happen and anybody can go down. I mean, bro, Suarez got hit in the hand. If that was anything serious, he's still sitting on the IL in Arizona. So, I mean, that's all it takes. And like I said earlier, we've seen teams go crazy after the trade deadline. But we've also seen teams go out there and buy remember the one year the Padres went out and bought everything? They barely made the playoffs. So, I mean, that's the same shit that could happen this year with the Padres. Bro, they traded for like 17 players today, it seemed like. So, I mean, my favorite thing is I just love trades. I've always loved trades. I've when I play other video games like the MyGM and 2K, I just love making trades and stuff. So, For me, unless it's obviously somebody that's from the White Sox, I don't care. As you said earlier, it's not my money. So it's not my players. I'm just watching them switch teams and put on different uniforms. Will be interesting to see, though, as like I said, there are still trades that are coming in. So as I talk about with the Padres, they went and got Mason Miller, J.P. Sears, Ryan O'Hearn, Ramon Liriano, Freddie Freeman from the Royals, Nestor Cortez, and Will Wagner. So they got a lot of players, and they obviously had to give up a lot of players too. But I mean, they don't got a farm system now. And I think that's the thing, like with Chris Getz too, is he's trying to make sure that like I hope with what Getz is trying to do is like after these guys are done, there's like a whole nother crop of guys that can come up and play. Like hopefully we can continue to be consistently good and not just like good for like the Padres selling everybody. What the fuck are the Padres gonna do if they don't win a game? If they don't win the wild card or make the playoffs?
I feel like the Padres luck out though, because a lot of their international signings that are turn out to be like turned into something. We're like the only ones that really turned into anything of ours. It's like we went out and signed them, and they made it to the majors. But I like Luis Roberts, an example of that. But there's a lot of international signing guys that like never even come close to touching the majors. I feel like. They just released someone, was it Wilfred Veras or someone? One of the outfielders the other day, or Terrell
Yeah,
Tatum, one of them.
yeah, one of those two. Also, I do hope this is the case because I need Josh Rojas off my baseball team. I'm sick of watching him. Please, Josh Rojas, go away. Because
He's a good
I can't.
locker room guy.
Oh yeah, great locker room guy. Go back to Seattle. Go to Seattle with
That's
Eduardo.
what should be interesting in general, not just with Rojas. I mean, you kept Michael Taylor. You kept
Hey,
isn't
Talkman.
it? Yeah, Talkman, Noda. Although I think they just optioned Noda to AAA
Yeah, no,
when
no went
he
down to AAA. Corey Lee.
so
I was surprised Corey Lee didn't get traded because he's just sitting in the minors, and I feel like a team like the Padres could have used him. I mean, why the heck not? So
yeah, I don't even know with Corey. I almost feel like you could just bring Corey Lee up at this point to have that third catcher if they're concerned about Teal and
yeah,
Carroll being in the lineup more. Corey Lee can play, I think, first?
yeah, catcher in first.
I feel like he
Yeah, put
played
him
the
in.
outfield at some point too.
I
It might have been in the minors, but
don't know. I hope the Brewers put Andrew Vaughn in the outfield so his legs are a little sore again. Fuck that guy. Fucking guy is 5 home runs. He's got 21 RBIs. He's batting freaking 380. The hell type of juju do they got in Milwaukee? Because what the fudge, man? So
you can't have buyer's remorse, man. That's what everyone wanted. The whole fan base hated that motherfucker.
I know. Good for him though, and that's just the thing for change of scenery guy. I feel like is the biggest thing is, I mean, sometimes these guys just need to get out and go, and sometimes it's nice to go and start somewhere new and fresh. And we've seen it work out with some guys, and we've also seen it not work out with other guys. So it's just one of those things that we'll have to wait and see what happens. But is there anything else you want to talk about? I feel like we talked about everything in the past week.
Yeah, I honestly expected the Sox to make probably more moves on the pitching front, just trading I thought Altavilla would go. Thought they might dangle
That's the thing
Steven
too.
Wilson out there. But it doesn't appear any of them are gone, so there's not much to talk. Does anyone know anything about Curtis Mead? I mean, other than just like Googling him, I don't know that there's much to say other than it looked like he was an infielder, played third base. But I mean, I'm kind of okay with it. At some point, they can convert some of these infielders to outfielders if they need to, as long as they're not slow. Like the athletic ones, you can throw out in the outfield. That where they fucked up, you started throwing Andrew Vaughn in the outfield. You could have put Tim Anderson in the outfield or some shit like that, where it's like at least, I mean, you knew Vaughn was not comfortable out there.
I mean,
Sheets was more competent out there than Vaughn.
yeah, and man, the fact that Sheets is doing what he's doing on the Padres is insane right now because it's just one of those things. Especially the way, yeah, I never expected Sheets to be a great outfielder, but that one play that he missed, I think it was like Minnesota or freaking Detroit or whatever the heck it was. Man, I can't with him. But the guy that we did get from the Rays, he has a 9.1 walk rate. He bats 264, 339, 472, 811 on the power numbers and slugging and OPS and all of that. And then in AAA, he's went 13 for 41, and like I said, last season. I'm sorry, so that's last season. So that's this season, the first one. But yeah, I mean, listen, it is what it is, and I think maybe he'll be a good complement player and maybe get some time at third base, and because Vargas seems to be actually playing a little bit more at first base, and I don't know if you said that last week, but you're right. It does seem
I
like
think Justin pointed that out because he said he doesn't understand why they're not playing Chase at second, Colson at Mead's going to Charlotte, according to Merkin.
Who is?
The guy we got from the Rays is going to Charlotte, according to Scott Merkin.
Okay. Well, there goes that. We'll have to see though how that goes. And
is he fast and athletic? I literally know nothing about him. Maybe they're like, "Hey, fuck you. We traded for you, so you can go play the outfield now."
Listen, at some point you just gotta you do what you gotta do because that is what it is. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I thought we definitely have a little bit more to talk about and more trades to talk about with the White Sox and everything else. And obviously the big winners today were the Padres. They traded everybody. They tried to get as much as they could, and they're going for it. And like I said earlier, they did keep Dylan Cease, et cetera, et cetera. But for me, I think the biggest trade that I'm not even shocked because I thought it was going to happen, but I also didn't think the Orioles would do it, is them trading Cedric Mullins. Is there any trade that kind of surprised you that happened in the last couple of days, just in general with any team?
The Correa shit shocked me.
Yeah, going back. Yeah, I'm surprised. Yeah,
I could have seen maybe trading him, but I didn't think Houston would be like, we'll take him back and that nice contract he's got.
That nice, lovely contract. I mean, I don't know if the Twins should be happy or sad about everything that they did because I don't even think that they were like the Twins, are just trying to figure it out. And, I think, like I said earlier, I think might very well be a thing where there are some teams that are kind of like descending where it seems like the White Sox are ascending. And if we could get rid of that arrow at guaranteed rate or at the rate, that'd be fantastic. Just keep it the rate. Get rid of the fucking arrow. Keep that thing. But yeah, I think that's all we got here for you. But I appreciate everybody to come here and hang out. We have 50 people in the chat. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, if you are watching on X, you're watching on Twitch, on Tino's Time, wherever you're watching at, make sure you go and hit the subscribe button on all the social medias, all that good stuff. Eric has a question. How is Berger doing? I don't know. Eric, I don't even think I think he's still on the Rangers, or did they DFA his ass? They might have. Oh, okay. Well, okay. So this is helpful. Thank you for the information. He's Vargas 2.0, top prospect who never did anything just to change the scenery type guy. Just going to have to wait and see what happens. But the trade deadline has come and passed, and now we move on and for the rest of the 2 months of the baseball season. Guys, go follow all the social medias. Go and check out us on the Southside Boys on X. Go check out Tino's Time, the OTM guys, the Main Event Network, all that. We still got SummerSlam week, everybody, and we'll be back over on Tino's Time at 7 o'clock as we will be, 7 o'clock, as we will be simulating all of the matches that are going to go down this weekend at SummerSlam. We got 2 nights, the first 2 nights SummerSlam in New Jersey, 12 matches and a lot to do. So, guys, have a good rest of your afternoon. Enjoy your day if you're not going to join me later. And we'll see y'all next week back here on the Southside Boys next Thursday at 5 o'clock.